Hello, beloved ones. Thank you for joining me today. This is our third video in our stories series, right? And I say our stories because I am a part of your story. You would not be listening to this video if you were not already certain that I was part of your story, or you were not inviting me into your story, even for just a few minutes of your life. So in this video, I want to focus on what to do with your stories, right? If you want to refine, if you want to edit, if you want to do some rewriting of your stories, then let's dive into how to do that. Now, the first thing is that I want to remind you that because everyone has their own stories, individually and collectively, you are exposed to stories all the time. Everyone is maintaining stories, including you. And some people are fiercely invested in their story. And they are willing to fight for their story. They are willing to do violence for their story. Or they're willing to love fiercely for their story. Or they are willing to love peacefully for their story. Everyone is willing to do something, sacrifice something, go to any lengths to maintain their story. So everyone has their overall story. Right? Who you are as a person, your self-expression, the way you move through the world, this is your ever-evolving life story. And within that story there are smaller stories, right? So that's what we're going to focus on, because I want to be very clear that your life story is glorious, beloved ones. You are glorious, your story is glorious, and it is worth cherishing. It is worth taking the time to understand to the best of your ability. You're not going to understand it all. Some of your story is playing out, being maintained in your unconscious self, and that's all right. That's normal. Things don't move from the unconscious into the conscious awareness until you're ready to receive them, right? So let's not worry about what you don't know, what you are unconscious about. Because when you need to know, it will come into your awareness, right? So let's focus on what you are aware of. So hopefully you have spent this last month observing your stories, how you participate in them, maybe how your story engages you to react or to take action, make certain choices, decisions, how you exercise your free will. And then I hope that you were able in the last few weeks to pinpoint one particular story that is alive inside of you, that you would like to focus on, right? That you'd like to refine, rewrite, edit somewhat. Because that's the process we're going to begin now. So this is going to be a shorter video because I'm just giving you the action steps that I'd like for you to take over the next 2 weeks. what I'd like you to do is to write about your story. Write down the story. And don't get too lost in the details. This is not a novel, right? You don't have to write 1,000 pages. But I want you to focus on the highlights, the most important parts of the story for you, right? What about this story is making itself known to you now? I'm going to stay with the example of self-esteem, right? So let's say that part of your story says that you don't deserve too much happiness. You deserve some, but not a lot. And another part of the story is a voice that when you start to become too happy, that voice says, hey, 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 you don't deserve that. So what can we do to stop that expansion of joy? Right? Keep it just at a certain level, right? So what actions do we have to take? Maybe we need to bring in an injury or an illness, or maybe we need just to be with the people who remind us that we're not equal, right? That we're not equally deserving of more happiness, right? The people who remind us of the pain of life, the suffering, the difficulties, right? Whatever way that your story encourages you to take certain actions, that's what I want you to write down. Or the part of the story that says, ooh, we have not had our quota of happiness. Let's go take a hike, or let's play with the dogs, or let's go look at art, or let's call up that friend that we have so much fun with. Let's go have some fun. Let's go bowling, or take a vacation, right? Write down the whole representation of this story. Shadow and light, positive, negative, and all the ways those things intertwine. The story is about your thoughts, your thought patterns, your behaviors, your reactions, your beliefs. And again, you do not have to go into enormous detail. Just write down the highlights and any details that are very important. For example, self-esteem. You are allowed this much self-esteem, but not this much. And as soon as you start inching toward the top part of what you are allowed, what are the details? What are the exact thoughts, behaviors? What do you call to you to keep you right at that level and not moving up, not expanding your sense of self-worth, right? Your confidence in yourself can only be so big. And when you get to that ceiling, right, what keeps that ceiling solid? What keeps you in place? You'll notice there's a whole array of things, people you use, behaviors you exhibit, reactions that you make, experiences that you call to you. Just as you do the opposite when you're ready to expand. That's another set of behaviors, reactions, people you call to you, experiences you call to you so that you can expand, right? If you think about these things as patterns or collections of experiences that you utilize to either keep you in place or to help you grow, right? So the story about your self-esteem may have been growing all this time, right? For years and years. Maybe it's been slow, but you've been growing. You look back and you say, I have a lot more self-confidence than I did 10 years ago, right? So there's a story of expansion within that story, and there's a story of repression within that story. And there's an origin within that story, right? So touch on those parts and any details that you believe are pertinent, that are important, or that you just notice seem to come up again and again and again and again, right? So write it all down. And I would encourage you to write in small bits. Unless, of course, you sit down to write and download or get out a bunch onto the page. That's fine. But make it so it's not a chore, that it's easy. Maybe just 10 minutes every few days or 5 minutes each day. A little bit. So over the next 2 weeks, you are feeling pretty good about what you have put on the page and how it represents the story you have chosen to refine with me. All right? Be kind to yourselves. Be loving to yourself, and no matter what you discover, no matter what you put on the page, have compassion for yourself, beloved ones. Understand that, of course, this would all be part of your story, because you are who you are, and that is absolutely right. Namaste. Hi, it's Danielle, creator and founder of Beloved Publications, your home of Mother Mary's teachings as they're channeled through me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. If you're interested in more of Mother's teachings, please visit our website, www.belovedpublications.com. And there you'll find lots of great ways of connecting with Mother. And if you want to join our community, you get an awesome free mini course on preparing for and connecting with your spirit guides. You will love it. So I hope to see you there soon. Thanks so much.